Hey guys, we're back at the good, the bad, the fugly. So this is definitely part of the good. It is my event lab that I did 2 years ago, well almost 2 years ago, and it was impossible for anybody to race because of the massive size. Gonna show you this bad boy here. 2 laps, 57.4 miles. And it's virtually all ramp build minus the Las Jardinas highway. And there's a share code. But you guys already know that because you're going to be in it. Anyways, when I originally generated this race, it only had a prop count of 98%. When Forza went ahead and did their prop count update to be more accurate, it had 138%. I had to go ahead and regenerate the whole race to go ahead and bring it down to 98%. So it's drivable and playable for everybody. Because a lot of times people could race it, but they couldn't see the ramp build. They just saw the driving line going up in the air and all the cars up in the air. And when I tried that with co-op, a lot of times that happened with them too. They saw me driving up in the air, or I could not see the ramp build. So, regrettably, the prop count was fixed. I had to do a lot of work, 2 days worth of work, to regenerate this race. Oh, check out the front here of the car. This Jesco egg doesn't crack under pressure. This is true. However, getting back to the main point, I had to regenerate the whole race. And that took a lot of work. And the first 3 times, this race starts in Goliath, and the race actually started me in Las Jardinas Highway. So that was a total loss. That was a 2-day tour right there. The latest fix was about 4 hours. I finally got it to start here. So here we go. Now, I love this Jesco. It's an amazing car. This thing here is very tameable. It's excellent. I love it. It's an all-purpose car, just like a fighter that would be an all-weather fighter. This thing will run anywhere, anytime, as long as it's tuned properly. This is a track tune. I can't use a drag tune on it because it will be all over the road. And the parts that I have, which I call a loadout, just like in the military, when you're putting the bombs and missiles on the plane, it's called a loadout. This is all-wheel drive, 4-speed transmission, believe it or not, drift shocks, and of course the off-road differential. Now, a lot of people aren't familiar with the off-road differential. On the drag and anywhere else, it gives you ultimate grip. No matter if you are all-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive, it throws down more torque on the road than it does horsepower, so you can get a really good launch out of the car without getting massive wheel spin. Now, you saw me go up as high as possible on those bank turns without hitting the yellow signs. Well, that is because right now I am racing on a Fanatec wheel. A wheel is much different than the controller. Even though I have this wheel tuned to be as close to the controller as possible, the only thing you can do with trying to get a wheel to get as close as to the controller as possible is your turning ratio. Mine is at a meager 90%. Because when you're turning with the controller and you're on that joystick with your thumb, you hit that joystick rapidly. So you're turning the car extremely fast. And that's how that is. I got a lot more force feedback here than a controller. Here, you need to slow down. After this right here, this corner, you need to slow down in the corner. There is a bridge. A tunnel. You will miss the tunnel. There's another jump here. Pitch to the left a little so you don't go off the road. And this is a test track. I will fix that. So there are the big orange ramps there to keep you from flying off if you don't pitch it to the left a little. Anyways, this is an amazing car, like I stated. If it's tuned properly, you have the proper loadout, which is what I call all the parts that are involved when you purchase them. This car will do anything you ask it to do. It will drag race, it will track race, it will jump. This thing is a jumper, believe it or not. This thing will jump forever, but it needs to be tuned. And that's just how it is. Now this has rally shocks on it. I might have forgot to mention that when I mentioned the loadout. The rally shocks work the best versus the stock shocks and definitely the rally suspension. I mean, these are drift shocks. So, like I said, this car handles extremely well. Now, with the controller, this car handles a whole lot better because I am getting force feedback in the wheel, which means the wheel kicks back and forth to the left and right. So it goes left and right a lot because you have to have some kind of rebound on these wheels. If you eliminate, well, I don't know about the Logitech, but I do know the Thrustmaster. If you eliminate the force feedback in it, the turning will be too soft. You need some kind of feedback into it. This wheel is a Fanatec. It definitely needs some kind of force feedback for Forza Horizon series, because this is just a arcade game. It's not a sim game. Now in other races, this wheel, not in other races, but in other franchise races, this wheel feels everything. When you hit the brakes, go into a turn, it's almost like you're in the car. You feel that in the wheel when you're turning with the brakes applied. It is astronomical. Normally I don't hit those guardrails. So anyways, we're coming up on another turn. So after these farming props here, slow down, hit the brakes so you can make this turn or you'll fly off the track. You'll fly off on the left side, I guarantee it. Controller or wheel, doesn't matter. Slow down here so you can make the jump. I hit the brakes because the Jesco definitely needs it. It's got a lot of speed, it's got a lot of power coming into the turn. This is a huge jump. You get double points on that. Not only do you get the points for massive air, you also get it for the next jump. When you make contact, you come back up in the air again, as you saw. Like I said, phenomenal car, phenomenal. And it is all-wheel drive. Oops, almost missed those. Now this is a test track. Like I said, I had 186 prop build on it. I had to get back to 98, so I lost a lot of my farming props, which is the yellow signs, and I lost a lot of the width on the track. The track was a hell of a lot wider, a whole lot wider. It was actually a good drifting track, not just a race track. But it got narrower in quite a few places, unfortunately. However, it still works great. A lot of the farming props were lost, a lot of them. I would say 50% of the farming props are gone, just to get it back down to 98%. And I also omitted the... I almost lost that, and almost lost that again. It's hard driving and talking. Lose a lot of concentration while you're talking. But anyways, I had to omit the lower roads for the bots. So never follow the driving line in this race. You will not see a road. Those pieces of the road were omitted to alleviate the prop build so I could continue modifying the track. I just never put the roads back. And I will on the final build, because I'm going to use the Hot Wheels tracks, which are huge. They're long, and they don't absorb that much prop count. However, right now it works great. It works great with the Jesco. It works great with a lot of the cars that I do have. And yes, I am coming up high because I am not decelerating for the turns much. Very little. However, it is to prove a point that you can tune a wheel to work fairly good. And that, I don't know what happened there. That's like an invisible wall. But you can tune a wheel as close to a controller as possible, at least the Fanatec series. And that was a lockup right there. A lot of the ones that you saw me coming up high on the wall, that was a complete lockup, because the wheel is only at 90 degrees. So this is a very quick turning wheel, just like a controller. And again, this is the absolute largest ramp build you're going to find in Forza Horizon 5, bar none. As you saw, 57.4 miles of pure run, and you're on a ramp build throughout the majority of the race, other than Las Jardinas Highway. Again, pitch it to the left a little. That was very clean on the landing. And on the farming props here, at least on the highway, try to remember each direction, whether you're on the left or the right, so you catch all the farming props to keep your skill chain up. So one direction stay on the left or right, and when you come back for the second lap, go on the other side. Before it didn't matter, because like I said, I had 50% more farming props, so you could just Mickey Mouse all over the track. It didn't matter. You would get super high skill points. The curves are a little different because the car does have a lot of speed, and it does hustle itself up and down the turns here. Because if these ramps weren't here to help turn the car, you would not negotiate any of these turns at this speed. It's just too much speed for as tight as these turns are. So that's the whole theory behind the ramp build like this. And as you see, I have not lost the car yet on the turns, even as high as I come on the banked turns. And it works on the controller even better. I can actually negotiate those turns much better on the controller because I don't have the force feedback coming into the controller like on the wheel. It just vibrates left and right, very minorly, but however, it is a Fanatec wheel, so wherever the wheel is turning, the car will turn there. Even a smidge to the left, it will start turning to the left. But that's what's great about the Fanatec wheel. You can make it as close to the controller as possible and enjoy life in a race, such as in Forza Horizon 5. Turns are cleaner, I gotta guarantee, I gotta admit that. However, you have to turn a little bit earlier than a controller. Now again, slow down there. All of these turns you would not be able to do without the ramps being set up like this. Let's try to do this without braking this time. And let's see how high we get now, because we're going to have a little bit more speed. Oh, that's the problem. It went nose down. Sometimes it does go nose down, sometimes it goes level. I have no idea what's going on with that. That was definitely a hard break. So there you have it, guys. I mean, this is a really, really good track. The car is really, really well maneuvered, well handled, well mannered. It does everything you want. It turns, it brakes, it's fast. However, I did not wreck, but the car did lose its skill set because of that hard landing. It was like an invisible wall that it hit. That's my average time in the Jesco, and it's only about a minute slower in the Lamborghini Sesto Elemento FE, and quite a few cars as far as the Ferrari and Lambos go. So here you see the bots just have an absolutely hard time getting anywhere. This race is set on the difficulty level is set on unbeatable. However, it is adjustable. I did not lock it, but you see none of the bots finished. Did not finish, did not finish, did not finish. It's just, this is a guaranteed win for you guys. Nuts. Oh god, now watch what happens here. It's gonna go ahead and have an error message. It always does it in Event Labs. I have no idea why. It's gonna say something went wrong. Please try again later. And you really can't, because the car disappears out of your garage. And you don't get any money for it, so it's a total loss. Or maybe, yep, something went wrong. Yep, always. So anyways, you're guaranteed to level up several times. I only level up maybe, well, definitely 2 times, sometimes 3. But that is only because my prestige is at 8, which is very high. But I got a lot of it because I do a lot of the season events, and a majority of it actually was doing my event labs. So these event labs will rake in some skills, some money, wheel spins, and mastery points. And usually when I do an event lab, I tune multiple cars for it. So when I race with my friends, we have a good experience. I tell them borrow my car, they do. The ones that don't, they regret it. Next race, they're borrowing my car, because I do spend a considerable amount of time tuning my cars for a particular event lab. So if I ever get back into free roam, I will show you exactly what I'm talking about on the event labs and why my prestige is so high. And leveled up again. You guys are going to shit me out on my event labs. Total count. 131 event labs. However, only about 8 are playable, because for whatever reason, back in the day, it was extremely hard overwriting another event lab and saving it without saving both of them. If you overwrote an existing event lab, it would save both of them and would clog up your vent labs. So they fixed that apparently. Anyways, part of the good, the bad, the fugly. This is definitely good. Have a good one, guys. Stay safe. Have fun.